We are so back in business. Look, just take a look. We're going to do a sneak peek. Hi, my name's Emily, and this is Knitting Out Loud, where I talk about everything that I'm currently making. Last week, I was mid-meltdown over a project, and I'm happy to report that since then, I have turned it around, and I've actually made quite a good amount of progress this week that I'm super happy with. So I have in total 3 whips to show, and the world's tiniest haul from the Puget Sound local yarn store tour, which was this past weekend. Without further ado, this is where I have made it with my soft current tee. Last week was my first time showing this, but I had, if you were here for that fiasco, I had, I don't know, maybe 2 inches done on the left shoulder, and it had taken me hours and hours and hours and ripping out, starting over 2 to 3 times. So I think that I just needed to completely vent, which I did, and I got that off my chest. And it's like I stopped record and I went to knit and then immediately figured it out and got into a flow. And so I was able to finish the left shoulder and make all of the right shoulder, and I just got it connected. So the V-neck is V-necking, and I have like an inch more knitting to do on this before I'm ready to start the back. So I'm just in a way better place than I was last week with this project. I feel like I'm getting into it. I don't want to get overconfident because, as we know, that's when things start to go south for me. Just generally, I'm feeling a lot better about things this week. So I don't remember if I said the pattern name. This is the Soft Current Tee by Wool and Pine, and the yarn that I'm using is from Yarn Nouveau. It is their Bliss sock base in the color Seaside. And I am keeping this in a bag by Artifact. I got this for my birthday a few years ago, and I really like it. It is a waxed canvas and leather. I think they're in Boise. I want to say Boise. Small business there. So that's that. Next up here, I have pulled back out the vanilla socks that I'm making. I had shown these, I don't know, maybe 2 episodes ago, but I hadn't even finished the cast on yet. So I pulled those back out, and I don't have too much done, but I got the cuff and 1 stripe on, and I'm starting the 2nd stripe. I was going to do these as a fade, but not really feeling a fade. So I'm gonna see how I like stripey. And well, I'm not saying I'm not gonna rip it out and go back to a fade, but I'm trying out the stripes to see how those are. Because this yarn is from Dye Mad Yarn, which is an Ohio-based yarn. And I'm from Ohio, from the Hocking Hills area. So they have this sock set that is a Hocking Hills sock set, and each colorway represents a different area in the Hocking Hills. And so I kind of wanted to have them all separated. Not that I'm going to memorize the colorways, but just so that I could see how they all play together and keep them separate. But these would make a really perfect fade. So if I don't love how the stripes turn out, I'll just rip it out and do a fade sock. I don't have any sort of timeline or plans for these. I just tend to always have a pair of vanilla socks going. These are in a bag by Haiku, and this bag, I don't remember where I got it, but it has the Kitchener stitch instructions spelled out for me, so it's my favorite project bag for socks for that reason. Last up is my Jelly Roll blanket. It is in the Chip Basket by Fiber Hustle. I picked up at Flock Fiberfest a few years ago. I did switch out my stitch marker on this one for a fresh progress keeper. That's my Diet Coke stitch marker by Hello Lavender. And this is where I was last week. I've just pulled this back out into the rotation, so I have added 2 scraps into it this week, and that's really it. This is mostly fingering weight held double and some DK, but I did go ahead and add my sport weight held double in here. So I don't think it's going to mess with things too much. I feel like whenever I add the next strip, it'll just kind of stretch out the fingering ones, and it'll all work out. I'm not worried about it. This is a very scrappy, very long blanket. Is that all the knitting? It is. I say I haven't done that much knitting, but I did get a lot done on that top this week, which again, it's way better than the last week of knitting went for it. We did go to the Puget local yarn store tour last weekend. I wasn't sure how many stores we would end up making it to this year. I was truly only planning on one, which was Seattle Yarn. It's the closest to me. We ended up going to 5 different shops and just had a lovely time. Did get some things. I spent pretty much all of my budget. No, I spent all of my budget at Seattle Yarn because that was the only shop that I was truly planning on going to. But I got this small project bag from Goose and Ghost. She was doing a pop-up there, and she hand draws all the designs on her bags and then has them printed, and I think she sews them herself, pretty sure. But I love the pattern on the inside of this, and then it says craft more, read more, just one more chapter. I also got just a soft tape measure because I actually don't have one. Well, that's not true. We have a really old one, and I'm pretty sure it's super stretched out, so I just wanted to grab a new one, and it has a cute little design on it. And then there was another pop-up there I cannot remember the name of, so I will look it up and either put it on the screen or in the show notes. And I got some stitch markers from there too. So I got a beer stein, which our favorite brewery has a mug club that we've been on the wait list for forever. So I'm excited I'll probably take my knitting in next time we're there and show off my mug. If I can't be in the mug club, at least I can have a mug stitch marker. My daughter really wanted this kitty one. And I got a disco ball. And this is like a boba tea coffee situation, which we've really recently been getting very into tea. And also they have Vietnamese coffee, which is just delicious. It's just so good. And then I also got this little coffee one. Just went for all the drink themed stitch markers. And then this last one was just like a natural stone with a wood that I thought was really pretty. So that's those. And then last but not least, I did get 2 skeins of yarn, which overall was pretty good. I really had to restrain myself. Everyone had so many great things on the tour, so many great patterns, that it was really hard not to buy everything from everywhere. That being said, I got this. This is Euphoria Fibers, which is Seattle Yarn's line of indie dyed yarn. This was their colorway for the tour. It is called Ice Cream Castles. It's on their honor roll sock base, which is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. I think that's the same base style as the Bliss sock, but this is a 4-ply. And I have a couple of things in mind for it. Top of mind is the Tolsta tank, because I've had that pattern for a while and I haven't made it yet. So I think that would be a really pretty pattern for this color. And then I think it would also be a really pretty mini mock neck tank top. Or there's a third pattern that I just got from Wool and Pine. Whenever I got the Cloud Break tee and the Soft Current tee pattern, I did a bundle. But it is all over lace, and after what I went through last week, I'm not sure that I'm ready to sign up for another all over lace design. But it doesn't look like there's a ton of shaping or anything on it, so don't hold me to that. I have some time to figure it out. The stores that we did go to, I collected pins, which was very fun. My husband got very into it. Every time I came out of a store, he's like, "Where's the pin? Show me the pin." So we went to Seattle Yarn, obviously, Acorn Street, which I love, and I forget how close these places are to me because I just like to live in my little bubble. It's great. I need to go there. They were just lovely. So lovely. I also went to the Tea Cozy, which is in Ballard, and they had so many great lines of yarn that I definitely need to remember that they're there. And I love Swedish candy, and there's a Scandinavian grocery store in Ballard, so I need to just do a double trip every time I go to Ballard and go to both those places. I went to Hazelnuts in Sodo and B-Town Yarn in Burien, and just all lovely people. Like, I'm so lucky to have so many amazing yarn stores this close to where I live. It's really cool. So that is my recap of the local yarn store tour, and that's all I have to share today. So I hope that you've had a great week, and I will see you for the next one. Thanks for watching.